Welcome back. So I wanted to do a quick video to kind of go over kind of like the state of the market and just really get a feel for what's going on here, because I know the market pretty much rallied today. It was green all the way across the board. And we're kind of going to talk about that because it's important to keep an ear to the ground when you have this kind of uncertainty going on in the market. So I'm going to start with, make sure everyone can hear me. Let's put this in here. Yeah. With that being said, what we're going to do is take a look at the macros, and then we're going to pretty much take a look at a few of the charts here to kind of get like a general feel of what's going on. So I want to start with the economic climate and understand that what we're looking at overall, as far as for the market today, is that the inflation report kind of came in, and the numbers, and I'm quoting right here, they came in cooler than expected, right? So they are kind of getting evidence saying that, oh, okay, well, I guess these rate hikes are, somewhat working and stuff like that. And we had the NASDAQ rally 20%, I want to say about 48 hours ago. A 20% rally is standard definition is saying that, okay, that's flashing a bull market. Just kind of like a 20% decline is going to flash a bear market. So NASDAQ rallied about 24, 48 hours ago, rallied 20%, saying that, okay, so that was kind of going to give the signal to say that, okay, we're probably going to have some people, especially my optimistic ones, are going to come in and say, okay, well, let me go ahead and start buying now, because we're getting signals, and this may indicate that we are in fact at the bottom. And we have to, and I always recommend averaging. I think that is the best strategy, in my personal opinion. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I always recommend averaging in. But as far as before I start saying bottom and, we're about to take off and this is the bull market, I need some confirmation here on the macros. And we do not have anything in concrete from Powell saying that this next rate hike is going to be 0.25. If it's going to be the last one, he's went on to say that, we're going to review the data and see as it comes. He's also said that we're going to potentially stop at 5.25 and stay there for the rest of the year. It's been a lot, and we don't have concrete information on that. Not to mention China and Russia and the BRICS and stuff like that is getting stronger by the day. They've agreed on like a $13 billion refinery. They're doing all types of agreements to trade around the dollar. It's a lot of information to kind of process that's been happening relatively quickly. And the world trading around the dollar is not going to be bullish for our economy. But again, we're going to kind of take that as it comes to kind of play that into like the macros of the market here. But overall, I do believe that we saw the run today is because we have cooler than expected inflation. And they're pretty much kind of indicating, saying that, okay, well, since NASDAQ rallied, we're potentially going to see a pivot or a pause this upcoming month. And as far as for voting and stuff like that, not the panelists, I want to say the economists and stuff voted, and I said that we're much more likely to get that pivot or pause this upcoming month. So that just kind of adds context here overall. For these charts, this here is SPY ETF off the S&P 500. And today, obviously, we've had a green day across the board. We've seen 409. We haven't been at these levels since earlier this year, around February. So, and that was technically when we were on the way down. For as far as for the high for this year, it's actually around like 417. So we'll see if we have that continuation as far as for a Monday. But overall, I'm not going to say that this is indicative of a bull run. In my opinion, this is highly probable to be a bear market rally until I get confirmation otherwise. So I just want to put that out there, because I know especially if we have another green day on Monday, I know that'll be the tone, and it'll be, oh, bear market's over and stuff like that. And my question will be, where's the evidence? Because we've had these rallies several times over the last year, really, and we still continue to trade sideways. Let's take a look here at Tesla. Tesla up. This is Fibonacci here. So, okay, so Tesla, we have some room up until around like 222. We'll see here, but we're right at the support level of around 207. So we'll see here if it's going to get that rally to 222. We're right at that support level here. So even for Tesla, we can get rejected or whatnot here. But again, a green day across the board, not as far as for getting in. Like if you were putting in puts and stuff like that, it would have hurt today for sure. Let's take a look at Apple. Apple is blasting off as well. Let's see, 165. And this may be, yeah, this is the high. Yeah, we're well into a high for the year. We're about to challenge the August highs relatively soon here at 175. So we need about another $10 and we're going to challenge the August high. So we have these signals flashing here, but just don't forget and don't, especially for those of you that are coming into the market, it's still best to average in versus chasing green candles and saying, oh, this is the bottom. And again, that's just for me personally saying that it's, I don't have evidence that this is going to be sustainable in the macros. And, again, that's just my personal opinion. I don't believe in chasing green candles. If your long-term positions, I believe personally, you should always be averaging in, but you have to kind of take this with a grain of salt here until we get some confirmation, really, because I know the market's green across the board, even if you're looking at things like crypto. Let's take a look here. So I want to say even Bitcoin is around like 28 still. Not still, I think it rallied back up, but still relatively trending sideways here. 28,510. So yeah, we're not even close. We need to at least get to 29 before we start talking about challenging 30, because both of those, all the times we got there, we got strong rejections here. So we're still in like a sideways consolidation in crypto. Let's take a look here. Yeah, same thing. It's literally almost like mirroring Doge, 1823, mirroring Bitcoin. And Doge has been riding that 21-day EMA. It's literally sitting on the cusp and curving with it. We're about to hit the 200 EMA. So that'll be interesting to see if we're going to get a rejection off of that. But overall, it's still relatively trending sideways, but you'll kind of see this curve here, and it's literally riding the curve up. So it's starting to head upward in momentum, but I don't believe it's going to have like a solo breakout until we have unless we have like a solo catalyst. But it will be interesting to see what we're going to do with the 200-day and the 72-day. The 200-day is the red line, 72-day is the orange line here. So we're looking like we're going to have a consolidation of those two, and we'll see if we actually get that cross or if we're going to kind of like rally back up and retest it, because you can retest the previous high here at about 830. So it wouldn't take a lot of momentum to do that, but overall, we're not seeing much action across the crypto market. So it's probably something we're going to have to wait until we get some signals on a broader base for Doge. Let's see, ADA. So friend Cardano. Cardano has a decent candle, almost 40. So Cardano here is showing the most strength. So we may retest that 41 mark. We'll see somewhere rejection here. We'll see where this candle closes. But yeah, Cardano is showing the most strength out of the four. We'll see if we get to like 42 mark. Or this could be a big rejection. So we'll see. Because we haven't, that's our high since like November. So yeah, that'll be really interesting to see what happens. So once we get, if we are able to break above 40, we'll see as far as how that breaks up. But overall, that has been our ceiling since like November of last year. So at least for Cardano. And ultimately, that's really one of the things I wanted to make sure that we're covering is kind of get the market and kind of getting like an idea overall, see what the tone of the market is and what it's saying to us. So ultimately, if you're averaging in, I still believe that is the best strategy, and certainly keep your ear to the ground, because there's some really big things that are bubbling in the macros that's not being covered appropriately, which that I believe, and that's the BRIC system with China, Russia, and them pivoting away from the dollar. I know that for the next week or two, it's all going to be about Donald Trump on TV, and they're not going to be covering this. But I promise you, in the macro of things, that is a huge deal, and for not only for our investments, but for how the United States does business internationally, and what type of inflation rates we're going to get, what type of mortgage rate, car notes, credit card rates, all that's tied together. I promise you that's a much bigger deal. So I'm going to be keeping track of that and reporting that back to you guys. I just wanted to provide you guys with that, with this update here. I'll go live briefly here and do a more targeted video on crypto, but I just wanted to do a general state of the market, kind of if you wanted to catch up and get my thoughts overall on the market. So I appreciate you, and I will see you guys shortly.